Welcome everyone to Monday Morning Morons for December 11th, 2017. This week, let's begin with some good old-fashioned Chicago-style politics, because while they're using new words for the stuff, it's still the same old thing. Groups demand University of Chicago pay slavery reparations. We've heard the same kind of dumb shit from Ghazi.
Y'all.
Damn, that guy's annoying. Anyway, without getting dragged into the weeds here, let's see if we can quickly summarize what they want and why they think they deserve it. The Chicago Maroon Report's N. Cobra was joined by the Reparations at U Chicago Working Group, whose research concluded the university should pay restitution due to its ties to 19th century politician Stephen Douglas. Douglas's land grant to the original university was bankrolled by profits from his slave plantation. The University of Chicago is founded by slaveholders, and the labor of enslaved people can actually be traced through the years, said Guy Emerson Mount, one of the researchers. The labor of enslaved people actually translates into buildings, endowments, and real hard material resources. Right. So, to put it simply, this group of self-entitled nitwits demand reparations because some former politician who owned slaves over a century ago donated land for the college, and that makes the current day college responsible for slavery. Good thought process. Doesn't stop there though. Oh no. Representatives from several student activist groups spoke at the rally. Reparations is fundamentally a labor issue, said Jack Dragoo, an organizer with the Solidarity Committee for Graduate Students United. We are talking about an institution that continues to displace and exploit people, and that was founded on free slave labor. See? According to these mental midgets, the college is still exploiting people. So, one of the things we're asking for is a CBA from the university and Obama Foundation as a sort of preemptive reparations that would offset the harm we know is going to come, said Mount, referring to the university's involvement with the construction of the Obama Presidential Center in Jackson Park. A permanent CBA would mean the community shouldn't have to fight this fight every time something's getting built. And here we are back to regular old familiar Chicago-style politics. This is just extortion with some pretty new rhetoric. We demand you give us money before you're allowed to build anything because... history. It's just too bad they've overplayed their hand. The college doesn't need your permission to do a damn thing. You don't own the land. You aren't financing any of the construction. You aren't the labor force being paid to build anything. In short, you are completely irrelevant regardless of a 150-year-old land grant. And you know that too, which is why your only play here is a rather shallow and transparent attempt to shame them into funding your group. You're spoiled whiners demanding a handout. Nothing more. Piss off. Since we're already talking about extortion, let's go from attempting it to achieving it, and then demanding more. University of Michigan students demand more paid diversity labor. Students at the University of Michigan are demanding that the school pay more students to do diversity labor, saying the 6 students already employed aren't nearly enough. In April, at least 250 students staged a sit-in at the school to advocate for paid diversity labor, according to the Michigan Daily, which resulted in the school hiring 6 graduate students, who now receive $9,868 per semester for their work. Right. Get that? They staged a protest to demand that the university pay these social justice idiots to create more social justice idiots, and the university caved. They hired 6 morons and pay them $10,000 per semester to spread their religion, and now there's blood in the water, folks. Let the feeding frenzy commence. We demand you hire more of us to do this bullshit. You know, because otherwise we might have to go out into the scary, scary world with our completely useless degrees and find out that our naive yet incredibly pretentious worldview is completely full of crap, and that our so-called education was a complete waste of time and money because we actually don't know shit. So what exactly does this job entail anyway? Diversity labor, she said, is about making the campus climate more livable and survivable, adding that graduate students should be compensated for everything they do to survive and thrive in their departments, while fighting against enduring structures of oppression or stratification on campus. If the administration agrees to the GEO's demands, Piedmont hopes that more students will be hired to conduct diversity labor, including teach-ins, research on department climate and solution evaluation, curricula development, and holding office hours for students who want to discuss diversity issues. Uh-huh. So you demand that someone pay you to be the PC police, give you the authority to decide what is or is not appropriate lessons, and create more pampered snowflakes. Great. I certainly can't think of anything more productive to do with your time. And just so we're all familiar with exactly how you perform this so-called diversity job of yours, what has the current diversity staff done so far? Notably, the GEO recently organized a support event for students to stop Richard Spencer from speaking on campus, urged members to vote against the Republican tax plan, and staged a sit-in to call for an 18% pay hike for graduate students. Suppress free speech, political advocacy, and demand more money. Oh yeah, that's educational, all right. I can definitely see why someone should pay you for that shit. Okay, Bob, give us the toxic masculinity piece. Yes, I know it's early, but I want to get this out of the way and move on to the funny stuff because there's more than one story that made me laugh this week. Louisiana woman charged in abuse of 7-year-old boy. A Louisiana woman faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted on charges of abusing her boyfriend's 7-year-old son in 2015. Brooks allegedly struck the child on the head with a cooking pan, pushed tacks into his skin, punched him, and forced him to kneel naked in a corner, Kenner police said. The child was diagnosed in 2015 with a skull fracture, burns, bruises, and cuts after his father took him to a local hospital. The injuries prompted an investigation, the paper reported. Brooks was arrested on March 31st and charged with cruelty to a juvenile on November 20th by the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office after more than a year of investigation, the paper reported. I included that last part because I was curious why this story popped up so recently if the abuse happened last year. Turns out it's because they spent a year investigating it and just recently charged her. But to recap, she cracked his skull with a frying pan, pushed tacks into him, and humiliated him by making him kneel naked in a corner. Yep, men sure are toxic, aren't they? Frankly, 10 years is not enough, and pessimistically, I doubt she even gets that much. We've covered it before, but the woman card has quite a nice track record in the legal system. Personal opinion? Burn the bitch at the stake. No sympathy for child abusers. Okay, so now you see why I wanted to do that early. I don't want to send you all off on a bad note for the week, so let's have a few laughs before we wrap it up. First, let's start with the crazies. No, not the feminists. I mean actual fucking crazy people. Connecticut man had sex with girlfriend's corpse in the hope of reviving her, police say. What? You see why this one caught my attention? Well, it's so much worse. A Connecticut man was sentenced to a year in prison this week after telling authorities he had sex with his dead girlfriend's corpse. Aaron Gaser, 39, of Willimantic, told police in January that he decided to have sex with his girlfriend in an attempt to wake her up after finding her unresponsive with heroin needles in her lap, the Hartford Courant reported. Gaser said he thought having sex with the body might revive her because his girlfriend hated sleeping with him, according to an arrest warrant, the paper reported. Well, you can't fault his logic there, huh? He knows she hates it, so if anything's gonna wake her up... It doesn't say here, but either he was also whacked out on heroin, he's just incredibly stupid, or he knew damn well what he was doing. She'd been dead for hours. You can't tell me that any normal person wouldn't have noticed that while tying her up and fucking her.
Alrighty then, shall we go to jail?
Not the craziest guy in the bunch, though. Washington man tells police Trump told him to fight lizard people. I don't know why everyone's still focused on this Russia shit when it's obvious that Trump is amassing his own private army of meth heads to combat the lizard people. The meth doesn't make me crazy, man. The lizard people are real, he reportedly told officers. He also said Trump called his home to inform him about the lizard people and that he needed to fight them before they took over, police said. The man, police reported, claimed that Trump told him an alpha dragon had kidnapped his family and were holding them hostage. Oh, man. The lizard people only seem to go after the folks on drugs. Must be because they don't want anyone exposing their secret, and the druggies are the only ones who know the truth. Stay away from drugs, kids, or the lizard people will come for you, too. Okay, let's wrap it up with one I know most of you would have already seen. Lots of people got a good laugh out of this one this week. Don't call us snowflakes. It damages our mental health, say young people. Oh, the delicious irony. Calling us pampered little snowflakes makes us feel bad. And that overly sensitive shit is exactly why we call you that. Time to grow up, snowflakes. That's it for this week, folks. Remember, don't question the mantra. Women are victims, men are oppressors, and feminism is just about equality. I'll see you all next time.